I have this group chat with 10 of my friends, and this thing is always on fire. Late nights of studying is turning us into vampires. Unfortunately, we don't sparkle. One day it's midnight and I'm trying to fall asleep. Okay. Trying to start my calculus homework, and my phone is buzzing like that mosquito constantly circling my ear. I join in on the fun, letting them know about a question I'd been debating for days. Are hot dogs really a type of sandwich? Silence in the group chat. You know that feeling. Then, pandemonium followed as the vampires of the group chat debated the question for hours. And my job was done. I believe that the whole point of TED Talks is to bring to the table a point of discussion that isn't often thought about. The hot dog sandwiches of the world. So, welcome to my TED Talk. I've always wanted to say that. I'm going to start off with trashing humanity because who doesn't love that? Get this. In the entire state of Ohio in 1895, there were 2 cars on the road. And the drivers of these 2 cars crashed into each other. Or that during the Opium War, the Chinese planned to set monkeys on fire and launch them at British ships. Stephen Hawking summarizes this befuddling truth in his 2016 conference saying, "We spend a great deal of time studying history, which, let's face it, is the history of human stupidity. This is precisely why changing our minds about things, and no, not just replacing one belief with the other, but changing the way we see the world, is so important. Else people might still be running away from flaming monkeys." Today, I'd like to talk about some of the mistakes that we make in interpreting the world, as well as why changing our mind, just like filing taxes, is so darn hard. I'd also like to subvert the idea that changing your mind is some kind of negative behavior, something that qualifies you as indeterminate or careless. Because, breakthrough. If you cannot change your mind, you cannot change anything. Now, I'm going to start off with a few errors in thinking detailed by Ralph DeBelli in his book, The Art of Thinking Clearly. The first one is called the swimmer's body illusion. You know how they say, you are what you eat? Then maybe you should eat a skinny person. Just kidding. My uncle eats a lot of chocolate, and he's been trying to figure out how to get rid of some of that excess chocolate hiding his chocolate abs. But basketball is way too pedestrian, and golf is too snobby rich, so he looked to swimming. Swimmers have fantastic bodies and actual abs. And here's the catch. Do professional swimmers have perfect bodies because they swim? Or do their naturally perfect bodies make them great swimmers? It's the same in those Pantene commercials. That hair was likely silky, gorgeous, something humans could never achieve, even before those 2 pumps of conditioner, which is why expectations versus reality looks like this. I see this mindset in many around me today. Is an elite institution a real-world Hogwarts that imparts a magical touch on all that frequent it? Or does it simply recruit the best of the best, those who'd have already been, let's be honest, sleep-deprived and starry-eyed just without it? Now, the next one is called social proof. If 40,000 people just started playing dead, would you do it too? Well, 40,000 years ago, when dire wolves were on and about, if you sat down and thought hard about it, well, let's put this simply. This is the gene pool, this is the trash can, and this is you. Social proof is behind advertising. It's why when everyone has one of these, it's a pillow, it's a pet, it's a pillow pet, is the to be or not to be of our generation. It's also what transformed the mindset around life. It's what took life into a game, with boxes to check off, and where the landmarks to reach are those set by precedent of past generations. Now, the last one is called the default effect. It's the idea that going with the default is like a comfortable memory foam pillow. It's why the default car color is most popular, when you can have this. Why the default phone plan is best-selling, even with cheaper options. The default effect is also why we see the world through a binary. It's why we take everything in front of us and sort them into default categories. For example, why do we fear Ursula from The Little Mermaid? Ursula is feared because she's a harbinger of category crisis in every way possible. Racially with her purple skin, age with her white hair, physically with her overflowing love handles, and even religiously with dark magic. But by continuing to associate Ursula, who in every way strays from the social norm, with evil, future generations will continue to judge by fit and not by essence. Different as evil, when true evil manifests in the seemingly normal. When true evil is often right beneath our noses. I believe that Ursula is the true hero of this narrative, because without the crisis, how can we break the categories? Human beings are complex, and if we allow it, there is so much space for the in-between. I hope you've gotten into the habit of questioning your mindset, of why we see the world the way we do. Because the fact is that questioning is catalyst for change, and change is impossible without first changing our minds. But this is hard, because we believe that personal reflection leads to truth. We put more trust in the internal over the external. We don't question our own thoughts, like, that dentist is overcharging me, or the driver in front of me has 0 brain cells. Although this is a reason for our belief in our beliefs, there's a reason for how we hold on to them. In his article, The Neuroscience of Changing Your Mind, David McRaney discusses the backfire effect. He found that when a core belief is challenged, people rebound and dig their heels deeper into the belief than previously before. In essence, the human mind is a punching bag. We get hit by the opposing view and swing back with double the force. To explore this further, scientists at the University of Southern California's Brain and Creativity Institute analyzed the neurological underpinnings using an MRI machine. They discovered that when people were presented with evidence that contradicted their political beliefs, the areas of their brain that lit up are the areas that light up when responding to a physical threat. It's like if you were walking through a forest and came across a bear. Your brain would have this automatic fight or flight response, and your body would prepare to protect itself. But this is dangerous, because it is precisely our refusal to question, to change our minds, that leads to misinterpretations, misunderstandings, and ultimately discrimination. We perpetuate perceptions we have about a group of people, like all Irish are drunkards or all Muslims are terrorists. But if you did your research, you'd realize that Irish pub culture is the only place for camaraderie in cold winter months, and that 1/5 of Irish people don't even drink, something not reflected in per capita statistics. Or that there are roughly 1.8 billion Muslims in the world. If all Muslims were terrorists, let's just say we wouldn't be here right now. Many world problems, such as climate change, are a direct result of the fact that we refuse to accept reality proven by supported information. Standing your ground is becoming less and less reliable and more of a self-defense mechanism. If you're standing your ground for the wrong reasons, are you really doing the right thing? Now, the theme of this event is breakthrough, but it seems like the world is going into flames, that all of our problems are too big to handle. But the fact is that if all of us as individuals decide to question, to alter our worldviews along with the transforming landscape, change is possible. If you've ever gone to sleep with a mosquito next to you, like I have, you know that change can be ensued by even the seemingly smallest creatures. I hope I've changed your mind about changing your mind, because there are so many breakthroughs waiting for us in the future. Social, technological, scientific. Yet, none can come to fruition without the spirit of questioning, without breaking through preconceived notions and incorrect assumptions, without breaking through the borders of what is currently believed to be possible. Breakthrough. If you cannot change your mind, you cannot change anything. Thank you.